President Obama called his meeting with President-elect Trump, quote, excellent, and Trump called Obama a, quote, very fine man. But what did their body language tell us? President of the Body Language Institute, Janine Driver, joins us now to explain. Janine, these guys gave you a lifetime of material yesterday. Let's talk about what you saw. Let's put up some pictures of the things that you zeroed in on in terms of what their body language was really saying. Here you go. No eye contact at the start of their sit-down. What does this tell you, Janine?
Forget about the start. It takes 1 minute and 40 seconds before President Obama even looks at Trump. So think about it. If we just meet, and I'm introducing you, when people like themselves, it's rapport. We look at the person, we'll gesture to the person. We just met. I'm really excited. We had this great conversation. We don't see any of that here.
Okay. Donald Trump was holding his hands in a certain way that I believe is sort of like this. It's like this, and you call it, oh, it's like this. So he has it up like this between
between his legs. Yeah, so this is called steepling. So when we steeple people, we intimidate people. This is a go-to move for President-elect Trump. We've seen him do this all the way from the Apprentice days when it all first began. So when we steeple people, we intimidate people. Imagine doing this and saying, can I talk to you for a second? This is a sense of his power. It can be seen as intimidating, but this is his go-to move. The higher the steeple, the more we intimidate people. So a low steeple like this is being respectful of our current president. If he were to go higher and up on the elbows, I call this the Godfather steeple right here, or you lean back and put the crown over your head. You know, the higher the steeple, the more you control people.
Ooh, good to know. I plan to use that on Chris right after this. President Obama, you say you watched him do these long eyelid closes. What's that?
Yeah, he does that. So we call this eye blocking. So when Donald Trump, President-elect Trump, is talking, we see Obama listening, and he'll do these very long eye closes. We usually do this eye blocking either with our hand or with our eyelids when we don't like what we see or hear that's happening right in front of us. And if you listen to not just the body language, but the actual language, we hear Donald Trump say things like, I have a great respect for, and he doesn't finish the sentence. These are stop sentences. We assume he's saying great respect for the president, but he doesn't finish the sentence. Donald Trump also says what? He says, I look forward to dealing with the president. The word dealing in and of itself is not, if you're a babysitter and I'm interviewing you to watch My Three Sons and you say, I'm really great at dealing with children, you're not getting the job. So there's definitely not a love affair happening here, for sure.
So interesting. You say that President Obama, after their handshake, put his hand on his hip. What did that tell you?
Well, listen, let's talk briefly about the handshake. We see President-elect Trump on the left of the picture. We literally dub this in my world at the Body Language Institute, left of picture. He has the upper hand because when we see that picture being taken, you'll see Donald Trump literally has physically the upper hand. At the end of this, though, we see Obama wrapping it up, President Obama, and then he does this half Superman pose saying, this is still my turf for a couple more weeks to go. We saw something very similar with other world leaders in the past, including George W. Bush when he first welcomed Obama. We saw some of these Superman poses happening.
So hand on the hip means this is my territory, basically.
Well, it's taking up space. It's like, think about it like a dog in heat pees in the perimeter, marks its territory. So when we take our elbows, I know it's a morning show, so I hope I didn't lose any viewers.
I respect that you went there. Okay, let's talk about the first ladies. I don't think we have video, but we have a still photo of them. What do you see here in this photo?
Well, first of all, this photo was not just thrown out to the media. The media really hemmed and hawed to get a photo. So if you think about that, we have one photo that's been released. This could be very staged. There's not a lot of body language you can tell. However, with what we do have in this potentially staged picture is we see Michelle Obama sitting the same exact position that we saw her sitting in 8 years ago when she met Mrs. Bush, Laura Bush. We saw her on the right side of the picture in the same exact pose with her legs to the side. With Melania Trump, she's a hard read, right? She has this serious face, but they are mirroring each other's lower half of their body. We mirror people we like. That's rapport. At the end of the day, the big takeaway here is if you look at the current upcoming first lady elect, you'll see her sitting like this. If you sit like this, palm to palm, what happens is you increase the heat on your palm of your hand, and this is what we call embodied cognition. By the upcoming first lady sitting like this, she'll actually like Miss Obama better, our first lady. because what happens is when our palms of our hands get warm, it sends a message to our brain when we meet someone that they're likable and trustworthy and warm. So if you put a cup of coffee in someone's hand, Mike Bloomberg used to do this. He'd meet people in the morning before the office would open and put a hot cup of coffee or a hot cup of tea in someone's hand, and today's a billionaire. So we see Melania doing this. This makes her see everyone else as warm and likable. Instead of folding our hands like this, which is I'm bottled up, I'm stressed, right, anxious, we see her doing this more model-like pose, right, like this. It's very likable, it's very polished and professional.
Janine Driver, fascinating to get your take on all of this. Thanks so much for walking us through it.
Good
Thank you. Chris?
Would you like some coffee?
Yes, I would, and we're following a lot of news.
Can I do both?
You're scaring me.
I don't want to lose this deal here.
And I hope you see what I'm doing.
Thank you, and I'm doing this.
Okay.
I'm really comfortable.
We're following a lot of
Next
news
to
this
you.
morning. Let's get right to it.